Welcome to the Mastercam 2019 Lathe Video Training Series tutorial number 2. In this tutorial, we will create the 2D CAD model used to create toolpaths. We will only create the upper profile of the part. We will create all of the necessary construction lines and trim the unneeded wireframe. We will create lines given their endpoint locations. We will select the machine definition and set up the stock. The outer diameter of the part will be faced, roughed, and finished. We will create a groove toolpath using multiple chains. And drill toolpaths will be created to center drill and drill the part. Backplot and verify will be used to simulate the tool's movements. And finally, we will post-process the file. First, we will select the machine definition. Select Machine and choose Lathe Default. This allows us to set the plane to the lathe plus D plus Z and to be able to enter the coordinates based on the lathe axes. Select the Planes Manager and set Construction and Tool Plane to plus D plus Z. Next, we will create a rectangle. Select the Wireframe tab and choose Rectangle. Enter the width as 3 inches and the height as 0.7 and press Enter. In the selection bar, click on the fast point icon. Enter the coordinates as 0, -3 and press Enter. Then press OK to exit the command. Next, we will create parallel lines. Select Line Parallel. Select the far right entity and pick a point to the left. Enter the distance as 0.25 and press Enter. Select this entity again, pick a point to the left, and enter the distance as 0.6 and press Enter. Select this entity, pick a point to the left, and enter the distance as 1.1 and press Enter. Select the bottom horizontal line, pick a point above it, and enter the offset distance as 0.15 and press Enter. Select the bottom line again, pick a point above it, and enter the distance as 0.35 and press Enter. Select the bottom line, pick a point above it, and enter the distance as 0.5 and press Enter. Press OK to exit the command. Zoom in on this area of the part. Select Fillet Entities. Make sure the method is set to normal and the radius is set to 0.25. Select this entity here, and then select this entity. Then press OK and create new operation. Change the radius to 0.1 and press Enter. Select this entity and this entity. Select this entity again, and select this entity. Select this entity, and finally select this entity. Then press OK to exit the command. Next, we will trim the geometry. Select Divide, and make sure Type is set to Trim. Select this entity, and this entity. Then select this entity. Press OK to exit the command. Zoom out, and then zoom in on this area of the part. Select Line Parallel. Select this line and pick a point above it. Enter the offset distance as 0.15 and press Enter. Select this entity and pick a point to the right. enter the distance as 0.84 and press enter. Select this entity again, pick a point to the right, and enter the distance as 1 and press enter. Select this entity and pick a point to the right. Enter the distance as 1.5 and press enter. Then press OK to exit the command. Select Line Endpoints. Select this endpoint here, and then select this intersection. And press OK to exit the command. We will now trim the geometry. Select Trim Break Extend. Change the method to Trim Two Entities. Select this entity and then this entity. Select this entity and this one. Select this entity again and then select this entity. Then press OK to exit the command. Select Divide. Select this entity and this entity. Then press OK. Select these 4 lines and press Delete on your keyboard. Save your file.